Grogu had everything he needed to become a Jedi. Luke Skywalker, the greatest Jedi in the galaxy, was personally training him. He had the Force, he had the talent, and in the Book of Boba Fett, he was given a choice. Take the lightsaber and stay with Luke, or take Din Djarin's Mandalorian armor and go back to the man who had become his father. He chose Din. Now, I think most people see this as a sweet moment, a kid choosing his dad over everything else. But I actually think that decision is the key to understanding everything that's going to happen in the new movie coming out this month. And to understand why, we have to go all the way back to the beginning, to the moment these two found each other and why neither of them was ever supposed to survive it. Let's go back to the very beginning. Before Grogu, Din Djarin was a lone bounty hunter, one of the best in the guild, but he lived by a code. He was a member of the Children of the Watch, a Mandalorian covert whose most important rule was simple. You never remove your helmet in front of another living being. Not for anyone, not for anything. To Din, it wasn't just a rule, it was who he was. Then the job brought him to Avala 7, and everything changed. Let's start with Grogu, or Baby Yoda as many of you probably know him. Now, Grogu is a member of the same species as Jedi Grandmaster Yoda, and like Yoda, he's extraordinarily powerful in the Force. Grogu was raised at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, where he was trained by multiple Jedi Masters. And for a time, things were going well, until Order 66. For those who don't know, Order 66 was the moment when Emperor Palpatine commanded all clone troopers to turn on and kill the Jedi. One of the darkest events in Star Wars history, and the moment that nearly destroyed the Jedi Order entirely. Grogu survived thanks to Jedi Master Kelleran Beck, who fought off the incoming clone troopers and smuggled Grogu aboard a Naboo starship to safety. After that, Grogu had to suppress his Force abilities to avoid detection by the Imperial Inquisitors, the Emperor's personal Jedi hunters. What happened to him during the years of the Galactic Civil War is unknown. All we know is that by the time we meet him, he has been hiding for decades, small, impossibly powerful, and very much alone. Now let's talk about Din Djarin, the man who would become Grogu's protector and eventually his father. Din grew up on a planet called Aq Vetina. His life changed forever during the Clone Wars, when battle droids attacked his village and killed his parents. Orphaned and terrified, he was rescued by a group of Mandalorian extremists known as Death Watch, who raised him on Concordia as part of their covert, specifically a strict religious sect called the Children of the Watch. This upbringing explains two of the most defining aspects of Din's character: his absolute refusal to remove his helmet in front of others, and his deep distrust of droids, which stemmed directly from the trauma of losing his parents to them. I think both of these will matter enormously as we head into the film. When we first meet Din in Season 1, he's a skilled and highly respected bounty hunter working for the Bounty Hunters Guild, led by Greef Karga. He takes on a mysterious job from a figure known only as the Client, a 50-year-old target on the planet Avala 7 to be brought back alive. On Avala 7, with the help of a local moisture farmer called Queel, who famously teaches Din to ride a blurg, he tracks down the target. That target, of course, is Grogu. He also encounters IG-11, a droid bounty hunter with orders to kill the child on sight. Din shoots IG-11 before he can act, and in that moment, something shifts. He connects with Grogu immediately, and I think that instinct to protect him is what sets everything in motion. He hands Grogu over to the Client, but the guilt eats at him. He goes back, fights his way through a squad of stormtroopers, and rescues Grogu from Dr. Pershing, an Imperial scientist who had been running experiments on the child. From that moment on, Din's mission is clear. Keep Grogu safe, no matter what. The rest of Season 1 sees Din and Grogu on the run. From the Guild, from bounty hunters, and ultimately from the Imperial Remnant led by the terrifying Moff Gideon. Key allies emerge along the way. Cara Dune, an ex-rebel shock pilot turned mercenary, and eventually Greef Karga himself, who switches sides after Grogu uses the Force to heal him following a deadly ambush. The season ends with Din badly wounded, IG-11 sacrificing himself to save the group, and the Armourer, leader of Din's Mandalorian sect, giving him a new mission: find the Jedi and return Grogu to his people. And as they depart, the season closes on a chilling final image. Moff Gideon cutting his way out of his downed ship wielding the Darksaber, a weapon of enormous Mandalorian significance, as we'll see. Season 2 opens with Din searching for other Mandalorians who can help him find the Jedi. The season takes him to Tatooine, where he meets Cobb Vanth, a town marshal wearing Mandalorian armour he brought from Jawas, but who is not a real Mandalorian. Din reclaims the armour after helping the town to kill a crate dragon. On the ocean moon of Trask, Din meets Bo-Katan Kryze, a genuine Mandalorian warrior and the former owner of the Darksaber, who directs him to Corvus. There, he finds Ahsoka Tano. Now, Ahsoka is a hugely significant figure in Star Wars. She was once the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker himself. She speaks with Grogu through the Force and learns his name, his past at the Jedi Temple, and the trauma he still carries from Order 66. However, Ahsoka refuses to train him. She believes his attachment to Din is too strong, and she's seen what unchecked attachment can do to a Jedi, a clear reference to Anakin's fall. Instead, she sends Din to the ancient Jedi Temple ruins on Tython, where Grogu can use the Force to reach out to any Jedi who might be listening. On Tython, Din encounters Boba Fett, the true original owner of the armour from Tatooine, and his partner Fennec Shand. They strike a deal: return the armour and they'll help protect Grogu. But before that deal can fully take effect, Moff Gideon arrives with a full complement of stormtroopers, kidnaps Grogu, and destroys Din's ship, the Razor Crest. What follows is one of the most dramatic rescue missions in Star Wars history. Din assembles a team: Cara Dune, Boba, Fennec, Bo-Katan, and Kosko Reeves, and they storm Gideon's cruiser. Din fights through a corridor of Dark Troopers, finds Grogu, and defeats Gideon in a duel, claiming the Darksaber in the process. When he tries to hand it back to Bo-Katan, Gideon stops him. The Darksaber simply cannot be given away. It must be won in combat. Then, in what I genuinely believe is one of the most emotional moments in all of Star Wars, a single X-Wing arrives and a Jedi boards the ship, destroying every Dark Trooper in seconds. He lowers his hood to reveal himself as Luke Skywalker. Grogu is hesitant to leave, but Din crouches down, removes his helmet, breaking one of his most sacred rules, and says goodbye. It's a brilliant, heartbreaking scene. In the Book of Boba Fett, we catch up with Din. He has the Armourer forge the Beskar spear he acquired into chainmail, a gift for Grogu. But he also confesses that he removed his helmet to say goodbye, and under the laws of his sect, that means he's been expelled from the tribe. The only way back in is to bathe in the mines of Mandalore. Din visits Luke's Jedi Academy, but Ahsoka meets him and tells him he cannot see Grogu. It would set his training back. She agrees to pass on the gift. Luke, meanwhile, trains Grogu, but he senses the boy's heart isn't fully in it, particularly after Grogu relives the trauma of Order 66 during a training session. Luke places two items before him: Yoda's lightsaber, representing the path of the Jedi, and Din's gift of chainmail, representing his bond with Din. Grogu chooses the chainmail and returns to Din. I think that choice tells you everything you need to know about who Grogu really is. Season 3 is defined by one goal for Din: redemption within his tribe through bathing in the mines of Mandalore. After reconnecting with Greef Karga, now High Magistrate of a thriving Navarro, and Bo-Katan, who he finds alone at her crumbling family castle on Kalevala, Din and Grogu travel to Mandalore together. The trip nearly costs Din his life. He's captured by a monstrous cyborg creature in the mines, and it falls to Grogu to find Bo-Katan and bring her back. She rescues Din without hesitation, and in the process, both she and Din end up bathing in the living waters, redeeming him and bringing her back into the Mandalorian fold at the same time. And in those ancient waters, Bo-Katan sees something that leaves her speechless. A living mythosaur, a creature long thought to exist only in legend. The rest of the season sees the Mandalorians reuniting as a people, with Bo-Katan stepping into her destiny as their leader. They return to Mandalore, locate the Great Forge, and face Moff Gideon in the final climactic battle. A battle in which Grogu fights side by side with Din like the partner he was always meant to be. Gideon is ultimately killed when Aq Vetina rams his ship into the Imperial base. And in the aftermath, Din does something remarkable. He formally adopts Grogu as his son, making Din Djarin the first Mandalorian in Star Wars history to officially adopt a Jedi. The two take on work together as New Republic contractors, a father and a son, moving forward into the galaxy together. Which brings us to where we are now. And I think that's exactly why The Mandalorian and Grogu matters so much. Because this isn't just another Star Wars adventure. It's the next chapter in one of the greatest father-son stories ever told in a galaxy far, far away. I genuinely cannot wait to see what happens next. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my review of The Mandalorian and Grogu when it releases. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now!